Hey everyone, welcome back. In this session, we are starting with object oriented programming in Python. But before we jump into the code, here's a quick analogy to make sense of it. So, think of a car factory, and you don't build each car by hand every time. So, you use a blueprint, and from that, you can create many cars. So, in programming, that blueprint is called a class. So, basically, when you have a blueprint, you can create multiple objects, and an object will have some sort of properties. So, in this case, if it is a car, then it will have some sort of properties. So, here we are calling it as attributes. So, what could be the attributes for a car? It could be the color, the model number of the car, or the year in which it was built, or the engine that it has. And along with the attributes, there might be something that the car can do, right? So it can start, it can stop, or let's say brake. So all of those actions that it can do can be called as methods. So keeping this analogy in mind, let's go ahead and see how we can create a class in Python. So as I said, a class defines the structure and behavior of the objects that you want to create. So let's create a class by person. And to create a class, you are going to use this keyword class, and you have to give your class name. And once you have your class, you need to add a constructor. So let me write it first. We will start with def, and then we'll put double underscore, and then we'll write init. Init is for initialization, then double underscore, and then we'll put parenthesis, and then we'll write self. So this is a constructor, and this method is automatically called whenever we create a new object. And this is exactly where we are going to define the attributes for our object. So if I go ahead and start creating object for this particular class, what could be the attributes for the object? It can have name, it can have age, and it can have role, and you can add even more. So let's only add name and age for now. We'll put a colon, and then we have to write this block, but for now I'll just type in pass here. Now let's go ahead and create an instance, or you can call object for our class. So I'll give a variable name as p1, let's say person1, and then this is my class. This is how you create an object, and then these are nothing but the parameters, right? So you need to give the arguments. You don't need to mention anything for self, but you need to give the values for the other parameters that you have. So let's say if I give Alice, and I'll give 30 for the age. So now P1 is an object with a name and age. But for now, if I go ahead and try to print this object, we'll not see anything in the output. And this is because whenever you are creating an object, the constructor is called, and in the constructor, you have to assign the values. As in, you need to initialize, or you can think of setting up the object's data. So this is basically going to help you set up the object and store the data. So here we would have to write something like this: self.name is equals to name, self.age is equals to age. And here self refers to the current object or the current instance being created or accessed, and it lets the object store its own data, and this is how Python knows which object you're working with. So let's say if you have another person here, so I'll go ahead and create another object, and let's say if I give person, and here I'll give Bob and 25. So whenever I'm creating object, we know that the constructor is gonna get called in order to set up the data and assign the values. Then this has to know that which object you're talking about. So self points to the current object that is being created or accessed. So when we are trying to access P1, it is going to work with the data that P1 has. So self.name, it is going to assign this name here and this age here. And when we are trying to access or create P2, it is going to work with P2. And that is why we need to assign the values like this. So basically self is a name for this specific object you are talking to right now. So in the current situation, whatever your current object is in the case, that is what it refers to. So if you just remove self from here and from here as well, this is not going to work because Python doesn't know where to store the values, like name is equals to name. It just reassigns the variable to itself. That is why you need to mention self. Now let's go ahead and print P2 as well. Now we'll run the code. Right now what we are seeing is the memory address. So in order to access the object's attributes, you need to use attribute access operator, and we do that with the help of dot. So this dot is called attribute access operator. So here if I want to access name, I can just access name, and here also whatever property I want to access, whatever attribute I want to access, I will just put dot, and then I will mention the attribute name. There shouldn't be a comma here, so I'll remove this, and let's just run this again, and you can see the values. And similarly, if you want to access, let's say P2's age, you can just access it by the operator and the age attribute, and you'll get the age. So keep in mind that each object here is independent even though they use the same class. Now we can also give some behavior to our objects by adding a method. So here we can go ahead and create a method. So let's say I'll write greet, and we'll pass self here. Let's print a statement here. I'll use f string, and we'll say hi, I am, and then self dot name, and I am self dot age. I hope now you know that why we are using self. If we don't, it won't understand which object you're talking about. And we can call this method using the dot notation. So here, let's say if I want to call this method, I'll just do p1 dot greet. Let me save this. You can see this method got called hi, I am Alice, and I'm 30 years old. And similarly, you can call the same method that you have created for your other object as well. So here if I I call the greet method for P2. So here we got it for Bob as well. And now we can go ahead and kind of organize our code better, or you can say we can modularize it. We can do that by moving the class structure to a different file, and we'll only keep the object creation over here. So I'll go ahead and create another file. So under my project, I'll create a file with a small p. So person.py, and we'll copy the structure from here and we will paste it. Let's save this. Now we can import and use it. So we would have to write from and then the file name, which is person, and import person. And that's it. Even now, if I run, it's gonna work the same. So let's just recap what we learned today. We defined a class, we used a constructor, we created and used objects, we accessed attributes, we added a method, and we also organized code into our own module. So that's it for now. And in the next session, we'll cover more advanced topics. So I'll see you in the next one.